Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the fourth and final webinar in the series Cities and Social Solutions, jointly organized by the City Diplomacy Lab and the Columbia Global Center, Paris. My name is Andrew Wells, Program Coordinator at the Paris Center, and your moderator for today's discussion. This series aims to bring together the representatives of cities that have implemented some of the most impactful and sustainable social actions. Our goal is to celebrate their leadership and provide inspiration for the thousands of cities and local governments around the world committed to shaping an equitable future for all urban residents. I'm truly thrilled to be joined for our discussion today by representatives from the cities of Cockburn, Australia, Julie McDonald, Sharjah in the United Arab Emirates, Asma Akudari, and Cardiff in Wales in the United Kingdom, Nicola Pitman. They will be discussing their city's actions related to the participation of older people in community life, healthy and active aging, integration of age-related equity goals into urban planning, and more. Before formally introducing our panelists, I'd like to take a moment to thank our co-sponsors for this event, the World Health Organization Global Network for Age Friendly Cities and Communities, and the Robert N. Butler Columbia Aging Center. This event is a contribution to the UN Decade of Healthy Aging, 2021 to 2030. So before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to share with you a special video introduction from John Beard, the Irene Diamond Professor of Productive Aging in Health Policy Management, Epidemiology, and in the Robert N. Butler Columbia Aging Center at the Columbia University Irving Medical Center. So we'll take a moment to watch John's introduction, and then we'll begin our discussion.
Meetings of Columbia Aging Center. When the World Health Organization launched the Global Network of Age-Friendly Cities here in New York, Mayor Michael Bloomberg said something which I think is particularly pertinent to today's talks. He said, an age-friendly city is a city for all ages. It works in English. Unfortunately, it doesn't always work in other languages, but I think it's a particularly important concept. Why? Because as people age, they show greater heterogeneity, both of health and of circumstance. There are some 80-year-olds who retain the robust health of a 20-year-old, but there are many people who require care and support at much younger ages. And that heterogeneity reflects a lifetime of exposures to physical and social environments. And these environments have a cumulative impact on how we develop. And we can see that if we compare intrinsic capacity between different countries, we see stark differences which can't be explained by the genetics of people. They can only be explained by the environments in which they live. And I think this is one of the reasons that municipalities around the world have grabbed onto this idea of the age-friendly city and why it's become the core of the United Nations Decade of Healthy Aging. Because if the physical and social environment has such an impact on our lives, it creates the opportunity for us to create better environments which can ensure that everybody lives longer and healthier lives. And I'm looking forward today to hearing from the speakers and hearing some concrete examples about how we can do that. One of the hallmarks of the Global Network of Age-Friendly Cities has always been, it's not a cookbook on that you have to follow to achieve an age-friendly city. We're finding out more as we go, and it's by the sharing of the experiences of different communities and different municipalities that we can all do a better job in creating environments which are more age-friendly. So I'm looking forward to the presentations, and I hope you all have a terrific meeting.
Thank you so much, John. We are sorry that you weren't able to join us today, but we really thank you for that wonderful introduction. And now I would like to invite Dr. Tiago Eric Dessa to say a few words. Dr. Eric Dessa currently serves as a technical officer at the WHO headquarters in demographic change and health, and in the demographic change and healthy aging team. He leads the work on age-friendly environments, which also includes the coordination of the Global Network for Age-Friendly Cities and Communities. Tiago?
Thank you, Andrew and colleagues. I would like to start by highlighting that living longer lives is actually remarkable achievement of humankind. It's really one that deserves celebration by us all. And you've just heard from John. In that we have older people that are very diverse, and so are the environments they live in. And it's to ensure that this and future generations of older people can actually lead not just longer, but healthier lives. We must really strive to create environments that enable older people to age safely in a place that is right for them, to continue to develop personally, to be included, to contribute to their communities while retaining their independence and health. And that's what the WHO framework for age-friendly cities and communities aims to do, really to empower communities to shape environments that are conducive to healthier aging and that acknowledges what matters to communities themselves. Because we know that older people know really well what they want and need. So age-friendly cities and communities really ensures that older people are not just passive recipients of solutions or beneficiaries of what we do or don't do with our communities, but agents of this transformation, with their voices heard, meaningfully engaged throughout the process. And this approach is not just for older people, but by them and with them, their families and their communities. And communities is really where policy meets people. And that gives rise to the most innovative, interesting solutions. We are very proud to have today over 1,600 members in more than 50 countries in our global network. Cities, towns, communities, rural, indigenous communities, all committed to becoming more age-friendly. And today, you will hear insights from 3 of our shining members. But I can tell you that there's much, much more from each of them. If you go talk to Nicola, Asma, Julie, you'll see that there's much more than what they can present in the limited time of this workshop. And even more so from all of our network members. So if you're not already familiar with the Global Network, I encourage you to explore the energy and the good work being done and to share your own experiences through the global database of age-friendly practices that contribute to creating age-friendly environments. And if your city or community is not yet a member, please do serve as an advocate for them to join this global family. It is only through a global community of cities, countries, older people's organizations, researchers, practitioners, and many other stakeholders that we can build an age-friendly world together. And today's meetings is just another example of how we can work together to make it happen. So I really extend my gratitude to the city of Cockburn, Cardiff, Sharjah, the City Diplomacy Lab, Columbia Global Center, and each and every one of you that is attending this webinar today for being part of this global movement. And I wish us all an amazing meeting ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Tiago. It's a wonderful introduction, and it's been a pleasure working with you on the organization of this talk. And so without further ado, let's get into today's discussion, which will be divided into 3 parts. There will be 2 rounds of questions for our panelists, followed by some time at the end for a Q&A with the audience. So I would like to remind everyone in our audience that you can ask your questions using the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen, and we will do our best to answer as many as we can in the allotted time that we have today. So it is now my pleasure to introduce today's panelists. First, from the city of Cockburn in Western Australia, we have Julie McDonald, who is currently the Senior Centers Coordinator. Julie joined the Navy at 17, and after studying as a nurse, was among the first women nurses to serve at sea on the HMAS Tobruk. Notable achievements include winning the Western Australia Age Friendly Local Government of the Year Award in 2022, receiving the Council on the Aging Incorporated and Department of Communities Award, and earning the Premier Award while working for the Disability Service Commission. Julie has also represented Australia in marathon paddling and is a finisher of the Perth Marathon. Welcome, Julie. Next, representing the city of Sharjah in the United Arab Emirates is Asma Samir Al-Kodari. Asma is the director of the Sharjah Age Friendly City Office and the Sharjah Social Services Department. With a master's in business administration and a bachelor's in health sciences, she has held various key roles, including general coordinator and secretary for Sharjah in the Healthy City Project with the WHO, head of the Continuing Professional Development Department, and head of Quality Improvement, Excellence, and Accreditation. Welcome, Asma. And lastly, from the city of Cardiff in Wales in the United Kingdom, I would like to welcome Nicola Pitman. Nicola has over 30 years experience in youth work, the library profession, and health initiatives. Starting at the Ministry of Defense, she later transitioned to public libraries in, and excuse my pronunciation, of Caerphilly Council and Cardiff Council, where she now serves as operational manager for health and well-being and library strategy. Nicola is also the chair of the Society of Chief Librarians, Cymru. She became the lead officer for Age Friendly Cardiff in 2022, playing a pivotal role in Cardiff's successful application to join the WHO's Global Network for Age Friendly Cities and Communities in March 2023. Committed to improving the city for older residents, Nicola is dedicated to collaborating with them to shape Cardiff's future as an age-friendly city. And so for our first round of discussion, I'll ask the panelists to highlight a photo that really depicts a good practice in their city related to the work that they're doing. And I would like to ask Nicola to kick us off. Excuse me, actually, my apologies. I would actually like to ask Julie to kick us off. Julie?
Thank you. Hi, I'm Julie McDonald. I work for the City of Cockburn in Western Australia and in Australia. I'd like to talk, you can, if you want to see the City of Cockburn profile through the World Health Organization eyes, you can link into their website of Age Friendly Cities, and you can see our profile of who we are, our population, what we're doing and what we've done. And I'll be more than happy if you wanted to email us and share ideas and connect with me. I'd be more than happy, because that's how I've grown and learned, through connections and sharing through the World Health Organization. I'll get straight into the photos. So the photos that you can see, the one on the right is the Minister Don Punch. In the middle there, with their black and white dress, is a lady, one of our volunteers at the Senior Centre. Next to her is our Mayor, Logan Howlett, and next to him is a lady called Joan Thornton. Those two ladies in the middle of that group of 4 photos, during COVID times, really suffered isolation, sadness, loneliness, and disconnected. So what was happening for those two ladies in particular, one unfortunately had just lost her husband. The other one was suffering from loneliness, terrible loneliness, because during COVID, we had times of isolation where you were locked in your own home and couldn't get out into the community and connect with people. These two members of the Cockburn Senior Centre, they were very connected to Cockburn Senior Centre. But what was happening is they didn't know other people's phone numbers, and they didn't know them well enough to get their phone numbers or to ring them and stay connected. So we started to facilitate that. So both of those ladies approached me individually and said, we need to do something, we need to connect. So after people were allowed out of their homes, they said, we need to do something, we need to connect with closer to the community. So the photo on the left there, years ago now, we after COVID, we set up a group called a friendship group. And what I want to ask you individually is, when is the last time that you personally made a friend, that you can call, you could go to the movies with, that you could sit down and have coffee, you could go out for dinner, or you could just meet up once a week and just have a chat, and really that they started to get to know you and understand you? I'm just wondering how you met your last friend, and how that developed, and how that moved forward for you to connect personally, start having tears with them, crying with them, cuddling them, comforting them, and laughing with them. I'm just wondering where you met someone, how you did that. So what we created here at the City of Cockburn was a group, and we called it a friendship group, with a specific purpose of someone turning up to the senior centre at the City of Cockburn and meeting in a room or at a coffee shop and connecting together. Now, in the initial group, this is the initial photo of the group. In the initial group, we have many different people here. We have people who are culturally diverse. We have people with disabilities. We have people with mental illness. You can't tell that, though, by looking at that photo, can you? We have people there suffering terrible health conditions, breast cancer. One lady just had a double mastectomy. Now, these people that are meeting here, they started connecting, they started socialising. They really are connected individually with each other. They share phone numbers with one another. They share stories. They share their life experiences. They're bringing in photos of their children and sharing experiences with their families, about their families. So those who don't have families, they're getting invited over to their own homes and having families. So the results of this group meeting, I'm just going to read you a couple of sentences that they have been telling with me. So I moved from interstate, and it was the perfect place to make new friends. The outings are fabulous, and the conversations and laughter are fantastic. Another one said, meeting new people and sharing history and experiences. The common ground here is that there's someone listening. Someone is in there purposely listening to someone else. A great place to meet people and become friends. Good to meet new people. They look forward to Tuesdays to catch up and chat with the other lovely ladies and gents in our friendship group. The friendship group has grown so much now that we have to have 2 days. So we have Tuesday and a Friday. We also go on outings now, and we go out for lunches. We go to restaurants. People are sharing numbers, as I said. One gentleman said to me, which made me tear up a little bit, he said he would not miss the friendship group. He said he changed his holiday to come, which was amazing. And they share their lifestyles. So in your communities, I would really strongly encourage you to not just think that friendships are just created by public spaces or meeting places. Have courage to set up a group specifically for the idea of someone connecting with one another and sharing stories, loving on one another, and then branching out to then actually meeting in their own homes and being able to have tea and coffee and sharing life experiences with one another. I know for our community at the City of Cockburn, it really has changed lives. This group, as I said, has doubled in size. We have all different characters, males and females. This group won the 2022 WA Age Friendly Local Government Award for something so simple, but for something so deep. everyone wants to be connected in some way, I believe. And I think just having that formality around the name and having a venue to turn up to and creating opportunities is definitely the way to go. One of my biggest regrets, though, is I wish I had a university to do some absolute good studies on the benefits of this and the benefits of from the start to the finish of the group. So this year I'll be reaching out to universities and starting to get some really good deep research on the benefits of why this group is working. So thank you for having me today, and I really appreciate it. We have very strong connections with the World Health Organisations and the state government and our local government. We really value Age Friendly, and we love this friendship group. We're very thankful for them.
Thank you so much, Julie. It's fantastic, and the only thing I'll say is that it is true that sometimes we underestimate the power of just having one other person there, let alone a group of other people there to support, and something we easily forget. So fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So next we'll move to Asma from the city of Sharjah.
Hi, good afternoon from my time, and good morning from my colleague and the participants and the attendees time. Thank you for making me part of this actually unique event and webinar. Today I'll talk about one of our initiative in Sharjah, which is actually the age-friendly organizations. Yes, actually this initiatives maybe cover one important part, which is the elderly accessibility and mobility. We aim from this initiative to make the elderly or the old people free to move, free to go to all the organization and other building. So we worked, actually we had the brainstorming how we can make this in practice. So what we decided, let us actually have an initiatives how to make the building age-friendly. So the old people, they can move, they can also finish their, work, they can also receive any kind of service without any boundaries or any obstacles. So what we decide in this actually initiative, we form a committee or team, the team from Sharjah governments, from engineers, engineering department, customer service, even from the doctors, we talk to them. So at the end, we end up with a standards. With this standards actually covering three main domains. The first domain is the infrastructure, as you can see in the picture. So we thought that for me, if I am old people, elderly in Sharjah, I want to visit, for example, a bank, or I want to visit any government, even non-government organization, what I will need to reach that building. So we started from this point actually. So we decide that, okay, let us make the building friendly. So what we decide, okay, the accessibility, when I come, the parking should be there. So parking should be available for the old people, and they can have, place for them. Then we did the trial by wheelchair, one of us in a wheelchair to try, okay, then when I want to enter the organization, so the entrance, the slope of the building, and all the aspects. Then we end up with a few standards and criteria. We cover three main domains, as I mentioned: the infrastructure. Number two, the services. Even for me, if I am an old person and I cannot access, then is our facilities and organization ready to provide the service even at home? So also it is one of the criteria that we consider in these initiatives, and we give them, like a scale. The third domain is the elderly empowerment. We don't want the organization just to make the infrastructure ready and the service available for the elderly. Also, what they did for the elderly, like in national occasion, religion occasion, did they involve the elderly? Did they invite them to attend and to be part of their events and activities? So we put this also as one of the requirements. Also, we made a committee for evaluation. So it's not only to submit for us the picture. Some group will go and they will actually assess physically the building to be sure that all the elements and all the criteria actually really it is efficient for the elderly. So see here the measurement, one engineer will go and will take exactly the measurement. So they will be sure that it met our criteria. What we decided also to encourage the organization, we thought any organization who met 80% of the requirement will award them. And you can see in the last picture, Her Excellency, Ms. Afaf Al-Mirri, she is the chairman of our organization. So she will award the organization who met this criteria and they succeed to achieve 80% of the requirements. So in order to encourage them, of course, we found some organization, they met like 95, 92. So it varies, but anyone, if the minimum is 80% of the requirements, so you can be awarded as an age-friendly organization. And also to encourage and to motivate the organization to apply and to participate in this, we also will provide them a board. That board will be actually placed in the entrance of the organization. So any of the customers, they can know that this organization is an age-friendly organization. Also, we'll provide them, you can see here the logo. This is the initiative logo. We'll provide them also with the logo. So in their marketing, in their, any of their meeting, they can also use this logo to indicate that they are an age-friendly organization. One point also I want to add that the accreditation or the award, it is only for 3 years because we want to assure the sustainability of the criteria and the standard. So after 3 years, it will be expired. Again, they have to apply in our as an application, so they can be re-awarded as an age-friendly organization. This is maybe the summary of this initiative. I can give some statistic. Now we are in the 5th cycle of this, and we succeed to accredit 39 organizations. We have 39 organizations at Sharjah, Emirates of Sharjah, because in Sharjah we have also cities like Deba, Khurfakan, which is far. So we open this for Emirates of Sharjah. So anyone, either they are public, government, or private sector, they can actually apply for this, and they can be an age-friendly building or age-friendly organization, actually, because we are not looking only in the building. Even for the services, it should be friendly to our elderly. So this is maybe the summary of this initiatives.
Wonderful, Asma. Thank you so much. And I love how we went from really focusing on emotional support, group cohesion, to really expanding our consideration of what it means to support the older community, including physical accommodations and making sure to hold organizations accountable for the support that they provide. And so that's wonderful. Thank you. And so lastly, we will go to Nicola from Wales.
Okay, thank you. So our picture, which I think, Andrew, you're going to pop up in a second.
It will be up.
Wait for the picture.
There we go.
Great. Oh, brilliant. So the photo that we chose is a graphic illustration of some of Cardiff's older people actively contributing to tackling climate change, as well as developing resilience strategies. I hope you can see from the depiction how lively the workshop actually was. So I want to tell you a little bit about it. So as temperatures rise and weather patterns become more extreme, older adults are facing unique challenges due to climate change. Factors like decreased mobility, physiological changes, and limited access to resources, which make them particularly vulnerable. Extreme temperatures, severe weather events pose serious risks with older adults facing higher mortality rates. Additionally, climate change is exacerbating issues such as urban livability, making it harder to live in cities. So the implications are clear. Older populations must adapt to their changing environments, which necessitates rethinking our approach to climate change strategies. However, climate change messaging often disempowers older people and frames them as a cause of the climate crisis, despite many of them having active roles in climate action in local communities. So we feel that, certainly in Cardiff, we feel it's so important that we move beyond this perception of older adults as passive victims. They actually have a vital role to play in combating climate change by empowering them to take action and engage politically. So it's for this reason that Age Friendly Cardiff leapt at a chance to recognise the power of older people as active participants in the fight against climate change. So we were approached by Heriot Watt University and the Stockholm Environment Institute at the University of York. And the aim of this UKRI-funded Healthy Ageing in a Changing Climate project was to gain a better understanding of the factors that contribute to the resilience of older people to climate change, specifically in the UK. It aimed to explore how we can build on existing dimensions of age-friendly cities and communities to deliver inclusive and climate-resilient communities and cities. So the study involved not only age-friendly Cardiff, actually. We had age-friendly Manchester, Rochdale, Belfast, Leith in Scotland, and obviously Cardiff. So our specific involvement was hosting engagement sessions, bringing older people together with researchers also from the universities. So back in May last year, we had a big session, which is what the photo shows, at our central library in the centre of town in Cardiff. And we discussed, what did climate change actually mean to older people? What impact had extreme weather events had on them and their specific communities? And what already exists and what is needed in the community to respond to extreme weather? We had the second session that we had also involved organisations as well as older people, and we looked at potential solutions. I hope the photo shows how lively and powerful the sessions were. There were actually many moving moments, older people expressing feelings of guilt and shame that they had not contributed more at earlier stages of their life to deliver a sustainable planet for generations to come. It's actually felt, obviously that's really sad, and many were quite emotional, but it actually felt quite cathartic, especially for many. This felt like the first opportunity that they had ever been provided to express their opinions and their views on what they felt could be done. So we had some fantastic suggestions, such as a focus on developing climate resilient housing, more robust advice on the issues that paving over gardens, for example, can present, better connected, different modes of transport, encouraging active travel, car clubs, improvements to the availability of community information in relation to climate issues, advanced planning for extreme weather events, and the need to include people in the change-making process. We had a good suggestion on the integration of outdoor green spaces as well, with having more trees, not just in parks within the city, but integrated into the city centre so that that could sort of potentially become cooler. The final report that the university produced, and everybody is welcome, by the way, to have access to that report. But it brought out some recommendations that focused on key areas where we could look at further action to deliver inclusive and climate resilient age-friendly cities and communities to support healthy ageing. And obviously we are looking at these recommendations in Cardiff as well as the other age-friendly communities within the UK. So we are really super proud of the contribution that Cardiff's older people have made to this study. And we certainly aim to continue to empower the older people of Cardiff to participate in tackling climate change within Cardiff and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nicola. I think that's a great way to conclude the first round of our discussion today. Really showing, like any issue, that these age-related issues do not exist in a vacuum, and that they indeed are mitigated and affected by a host of other issues, including climate change, that we are all facing on a daily basis. So thank you so much. And now we are going to move on to our second round of discussion, during which we will ask our panelists to choose one keyword that encompasses their city's vision for the future. And if it's all right with you, Nicola, we're gonna go in reverse order. So we're gonna start again with you. I just like to remind our audience that they can put any questions for our panelists in the Q&A. The button is located at the bottom of your screens, and we will get to that at the end of this, after this second round of discussions. So Nicola, I'll let you take it away with your keyword.
Okay, thank you. So the word that we chose was the word freedom. We feel this really does fit in with our vision for an age-friendly Cardiff as a great place to grow older and a place where older people are more empowered, healthy and happy. We feel that this ethos is our golden thread that runs across all of the domains that the World Health Organization indicate we need to make progress in to develop us to work towards an age-friendly city. So we see the future, the vision is of a Cardiff where older people are free to move about the city and enjoy it, with safe walking routes, open spaces, spaces to rest and meet. A city where age-friendly and dementia-friendly inclusive design is the norm, and access barriers do not exist within public buildings and outdoor spaces. A Cardiff where nowhere is off limits for older people. A Cardiff where older people are free to remain in a home for life that is adaptable to their needs as they change over time. A Cardiff where older people are able to live in safe, secure, warm and comfortable homes which suits them and their lives and maximises their independence. A Cardiff where older people are free to travel to the places that they want to, easily and safely, in accessible, innovative vehicles. A Cardiff where older people are free to access transport that reduces the harm to their environment. A Cardiff where older people are free to access services and support that they need to look after their own health and well-being, from targeted health provision, staying independent at home, feeling safe and protected in their communities. A Cardiff where older people are free to access information in the way that they want to, digital, face-to-face, paper, phone. A Cardiff where older people are free to access digital learning opportunities and resources and become global citizens. A Cardiff where older people are free to give their views and advise on policy to shape Cardiff's future. A Cardiff where older people are free to work for as long as they want to and where their skills are valued. A Cardiff where older people are free to access a wide range of activities and events that help them to remain connected with each other and their communities, encourage them to keep active and stay social. A Cardiff where older people are free of stigma and stereotyping and where they are respected across the generations, where they can be seen as capable of great things and where their age does not limit them. So I think it's been mentioned at the beginning that I am a librarian, and I would now like to quote Mark Twain to encapsulate age-friendly Cardiff's passion for our vision of the future and why we chose the word freedom. Freedom is like a bag of sand. If there is a hole anywhere in the bag, all the sand will run out. If any group of our people are denied their rights, sooner or later, all groups stand to lose their rights. All the freedom will run out. So in Cardiff, we are actively working towards the achievement of this vision of older people being given the freedom of our city for generations to come. We are already making significant progress from adopting dementia-friendly design, greater involvement by older people in civic process and policy development, housing developments that are already delivering houses that are care-ready, that can be reactive to the changing needs of older people, targeted preventative health and early intervention programs, citywide older person activity schemes that help to combat loneliness and isolation, and cultural institutions that are targeting and adapting their models of delivery to better meet the needs of older people. However, there is still so much still to do to fully achieve our freedom vision. But we believe that by taking inspiration from the wealth of knowledge and experience of Cardiff's older people and learning from our esteemed colleagues from across the globe, we can do this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nicola. That was beautifully said. It certainly brings up a lot of thoughts and emotions that I think we'll get to during our later discussion, but very, very, very well put. And I won't say any more at the risk of, because I don't compare to Mark Twain. So voila, wonderfully said. So let's move to Asma. Your keyword, please.
Yeah. Maybe I will be a little bit precise, but comprehensive. Actually, here in Sharjah, our vision, we want Sharjah to be the best place worldwide for elderly. We want to work very hard for this. We want to adopt the best practices and adapting them to our internal environment so we can tailor the activity in a way and the initiative in a way that fit our people plus the any of the visitors or any external comers. We believe in Sharjah, from our experience, we can say the key word in age-friendly city is the coordination and cooperation. Intersectoral cooperation, it is the key. I can find this in my daily work with the age-friendly program at Sharjah. We have to bring everyone. It is not one organization responsibility. It is everyone responsibility in the city. So we have to work together. We have to complete each other. We have also to integrate the services between the different sectors so we can have one vision to how we can make our city or our Emirates as a Sharjah and as an age-friendly city. So everybody can live with the equity, with the respect, with the dignity. So we have actually some strategic foundation we found here, sustainability, because we want to continue to provide programs, activities, initiatives. We want to have an equity in providing the services without any discrimination of the age. Plus, we want to work as an advocate for all the elderly who cannot sometimes speak or talk or reach to higher authority. So actually, these are our strategic foundation that we are working at in Sharjah, and we are learning with every time we are learning, and we'll continue to learn to achieve our vision. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Asma. Wonderfully said. And while I'm asking each of you to only give us one keyword, I can already tell that there's a lot of other keywords which are kind of emerging over the course of this discussion that are common really across all of your cities and all of your approaches. I think you just mentioned a few of them: Asma, equity, respect, dignity. It seems like those are really common threads that are coming through. And so let's go to Julie for our final keyword.
Thank you. Nicola and Asma, that's beautiful. I love we all have the same hearts, don't we, on wanting to be a connected community. Now, when Andrea asked me to only have one word, we don't really know each other, because I could never just say one word. So it has to be two. Has to be two. And our council for the city of Cockburn is adaptable and be connected. So we never ever want to stop being connected to our community. We, at the city of Cockburn, we have a large and wide community. And like Asma said, it takes all of us to play our part. It takes all of us to have a say. It takes all of us to listen and to hear what people have got to say. Our connection with our community is very strong. We have many reference groups, many associations that we connect with. We connect with our people on the street. We connect with people in our community. We actually know and touch and feel and understand and hear them very strongly. Our consultation with our community is very strong, and we stop at no lengths. We're not just online. We go out into the community and ask them. We have paperwork, we have online systems, we have many different tools for actually hearing and listening to them. We want to also stay connected to you out there in the world, and to other community age-friendly associations and those thinking about joining the World Health Organization. We would love to support you to be able to get there and understand how valued it is, and understand how keeping connected with others and sharing different ideas is so important, but to stay adaptable. So one thing that might have worked for us might not work for you, but also understanding that you can evolve it. You can make it look different and still have a go. We're also going to keep adaptable and connected, very connected to our state government in Western Australia. The Minister Don Punch for Ageing and his officers, Rebecca Delaforce, for example, who works for the state government, is exceptional. And we learn and work together very strongly with one another, and to build and encourage other local governments to be age friendly. Like Asma with buildings, I mean, that is fantastic. And Nicola to be the best Cardiff, I mean, in climate changing, it's great tools. I'm definitely poaching those and going to try and do them in the city of Cockburn. And that's the thing about sharing with one another, being connected. Also, we have a local government professionals association that's with the state government, and age-friendly community officers. We all connect with one another. Most of us have been working together now for 10 to 15 years. That's a lot of history, right? A lot of stories, a lot of sharing, and a lot of understanding from one another why we value and we want to see it important in our city of Cockburn. And we also want to continue business as usual, but be adaptable to the future that's coming. What is, I'm 50 years old now. I'm very lucky to continue to age gracefully. And I want to be able to age and keep aging. And I want to get cheekier as I get older and be connected to my community. And I want to have the space in Cockburn to allow me to stay connected, allow me to stay adaptable. And I would love to see and hear from other ideas of what we could do here in the city of Cockburn. So if you want to connect with me, we're really happy to share ideas. We're happy to support. We're happy to work together. We also work very closely with two other local governments, the City of Melville, who are outstanding leaders with the World Health Organization, and the City of Fremantle, fantastic ideas. And we combine together, we hold an expo in our communities and many other ideas, and show people what's available in our cities. So I think for us, definitely connected and adaptable. And we really want to connect with you out there. So if you're willing, you can share with me and I will connect with you. And thank you for hearing about the city of Cockburn. And we are having an international conference here in Western Australia in November, and we would love it if you could all come. We have great weather and we have great people, and we'd love to hear from you and share all our ideas. Thank you for having us today, and it's been a real pleasure.
Thank you so much, Julie. I know I can speak for all of us when I say that we would love to come visit and take advantage of the wonderful people and the amazing weather. Something we were talking about right before we got online. So fantastic. Thank you so much. I think this will conclude our second portion of our discussion today. And now we'll move on to question and answer. So I'd like to remind the audience that if you have questions for our panelists, you can put them in the Q&A, and we'll do our best to get them answered by the end of within the next 20 minutes. And I'd actually like to start off this discussion section just with a brief follow-up to something that Julie mentioned during her final words there. And Julie, you mentioned working with state and national governments, and I'd actually just like to dig into that a bit more and ask all of our panelists what your interactions with either state or national governments look like, whether, for instance, there's any lobbying for certain policies that is involved, and perhaps why this particular issue isn't something that can just be solved through national legislation, and why it's necessary to have city and local level action as well. So I don't know if who wants to start us off, but if any of you would like to try and tackle that question, that would be fantastic.
I can start if you like. So the City of Cockburn works really strongly and closely with the state government. State government decided that they would adopt and develop a senior strategy through statewide. So they went out to the whole of the state. So our state is massive. I can't tell you the kilometres, but it's massive. It goes all the way up to the Pilbara and all the way down south. If you saw half of Australia, that's how big our state is. And the city, the state government decided it would develop a senior strategy. Now that is amazing, right? That the state government, one, cares and wants to be connected with local government. We have very strong relationships. They also support funding to other local governments, including ourselves, to initially be connected with the World Health Organization and get those consultations in our community. So we got the funding, and that supported us to pay for a consultation. So, but without having the state on board, then you're sort of spinning as a local government, you're spinning your wheels, aren't you? Because you need them to jump on board. You need them to understand the needs, because if we understand our local needs in our community, now we can then have a say in the state government's needs. And I'm so proud of them. They really listened, and they have a wonderful senior strategy that they're implementing as we speak.
Nicola?
Shall I go next? Okay. So in Wales, the Welsh Government brought out the strategy for an ageing nation. And in that, they indicated that there was an ambition for all local authorities in Wales, and there are 22 authorities. Obviously, Cardiff is one of those, to join the World Health Organization's global network. So, but as a body, we meet regularly with Welsh Government, all 22. So there are 22 age-friendly lead officers. So there's another 21 in me, essentially, dotted across Wales. And the government will bring us all together so that we can talk about sort of what we can achieve together, sort of learn from each other. And obviously, not everybody's actually part of the network yet, but everybody in Wales is actively working towards that. So we're fortunate in that respect that, you know, we find out about initiatives also that can support older people that are being developed nationally, you know, within that government structure. We're also really fortunate in Wales that we've actually got an older people's commissioner who acts independently of government. And that's a fantastic thing, because it can be almost like an opportunity to scrutinise Welsh Government as well as authorities, and to challenge based on sort of, you know, what's happening, what are the maybe difficulties that older people are facing, and highlight areas that we should be focused on. So we do have an Older People's Commissioner, which is fantastic. So we do have oversight, you know, from government and support from government. So we get a small grant every year that supports the age-friendly work, for which we are very grateful. And yeah, we have the Commission, so we sort of have quite a good framework operating, age-friendly framework, I should say, in Wales. Hope that answers that question.
Yes, yes, certainly. Thank you so much, Nicola. Asma, would you like to?
Yes, yes. Actually, for us in Sharjah, we are called Emirate of Sharjah. So we are really lucky because we got the 100% the support for the age friendly. Actually, even the commitment letter, when it came to the WHO, it was signed by our ruler, His Highness Sheikh Dr. Sultan bin Mohammed Al Qasimi, which actually will give a big push for the age-friendly program. So I feel from my practice that the government support, it's the key in succeeding or achieving the 8 domains of the age-friendly program, because it will help you also to coordinate and to collaborate with the other facilities. Like I need the police, I need the road traffic organization, I need the education, I need the health sector, I need all these sectors. So without that government support from the higher authority, I think it will be a little bit hard. Even for the non-government organization, also we are working with them. Because of that support that we are receiving from the government, we could actually achieve a lot in the in context of the 8 domains of age-friendly program. So this is, I feel it's very important. And also for us, all our initiative, majority of our initiatives in Sharjah funded by Sharjah government. So maybe we are, when I start to connect to the international and other age-friendly cities, I found that sometimes it's a challenge, actually, the funding. But for us in Sharjah, we are actually majority, if I can say 100%, the funds come from the government. So all this activities and all, it is supported by the government. So just I want to give a key word in that. If you can gain the government support, it will help you in terms, even of policies, regulations. So it will help a lot. That's why maybe the WHO, one of the requirement is the commitment letter from the higher authority. So it will give you actually a great push to achieve a lot in terms of age-friendly program. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Asma. And if I could bother you once more, I see we have a question specifically for you in the chat related to Sharjah from Kathleen Brasher, who is asking if older people are involved in the assessment of organizations when you assess whether they're up to standard.
Thank you for this question, because actually in the 3rd or 2nd cycle of that initiatives, we involved the elderly. And we were one of the requirements for this age-friendly organization, that the building or the organization, they should have a survey for the elderly, because we want to listen to them. Sometimes, yeah, the things is very nice in terms of building, but maybe there is an issue with the services. Yes, so the elderly, they are involved in this. Even it was one of the suggestions which we implement. We brought one elderly to be part of the evaluating team. So we try to find a volunteer from the elderly. So they actually accompany the evaluating team. So they can. So yes, we are doing it. But maybe not in the 1st, 2nd, I think 3rd cycle. We came to know it's very important to involve the elderly to assess the building, because it's actually the service for them and they are the end user. So we have to listen to them and take their consideration. Yes.
Wonderful, thank you. Tiago, I see you raised your hand.
Yes, Andrew, thank you. Maybe still on the question regarding the collaboration across the different levels of government. It is one of the reasons why the Global Network is so successful, beyond the great work and energy that you can see already in 3 of our members, is the existence of national and subnational entities, programs, that provides that additional layer of support to ensure that the protagonism remains at the community level. There's so much that cities and communities can do, and they do a lot, but every single level of government should be involved in developing this ecosystem. So at the moment, we have more than 20 affiliate programs, national or subnational, some of them international as well, in the Global Network. Western Australia is one of them. We also have one for Wales, which is led by the Older People's Commissioner for Wales that Nicola mentioned. And in Sharjah, in addition to having Sharjah city, we have the Emirate, covering all the cities and communities within their constituency to support these activities on the ground. And this is fundamental. And actually, the action plan of the UN Decade of Healthy Aging calls for every single member state, every country, every region to develop their programs. And we've just provided some guidance from WHO on how to do it. If there is not another question, if you allow me, well, I would like to ask one to the group.
Of course.
Thank you, Andrew. So you all mentioned examples or willingness to collaborate. And of course, there's a lot of collaboration going on with your neighbors, with your immediate counterparts. But what are the mechanisms that you use? How do you foster this city-to-city, community-to-community exchange? And just maybe elaborate a bit more on what are the ways that you find useful, helpful to exchange, to learn, to be inspired by others, to support others that are in this journey together with you.
I can answer. I can talk.
Yes, Asma, please.
Yeah, for me, actually, in Sharjah, I will talk about our experience in Sharjah. Actually, the support that we are receiving from the headquarters of the network, Age Friendly Cities Network, is very important. And I think the platform that Dr. Thiago, they will make it is very important for the member. But for us, from our experience, I think we have to put a lot of effort in the database of the age-friendly city practices. Like for us in Sharjah, we found it very useful because when we start to put our action plan or strategic plan, we found it very useful, the database for the age-friendly cities practices, which is in the website. And it will give you a variety of initiatives, and you have to select what fits you, what is suitable for your infrastructure or your internal environment. So from Sharjah, actually, we are putting a target in our organization in Sharjah that we have to select 2 practices from the age-friendly database, because I feel it is very useful and it will provide you with a variety of initiatives. And it covers all the 8 domains of age-friendly. So this is very important. I feel also the conferences, the meeting, it is good that also to do regular conferences, meetings. It will help us to network and to learn from each other. And this is what we are doing it in Sharjah. We are trying at least once per year to invite speakers and to let them to demonstrate and to elaborate about their initiative. So this is our experience from Sharjah, and I feel it is very useful. Conferences, regular meetings, plus the database for the age-friendly practices, which is in the web. Thank you so much.
Sorry, Julie, did you want to go first? I don't mind.
You go.
Okay, thank you. Obviously we use Age Friendly World as a fantastic resource. So the members of the global network all sort of upload examples of good practice on there. Obviously we upload ourselves. So we'll sort of, we'll learn from that and sort of, make connections from there. We also actually, because we've got an Age Friendly Cardiff newsletter, so we like to share with our older people too what's going on in other parts of the network. So we have a Spotlight on the World feature, and sort of we'll tell what's going on in Norway or Oslo or wherever else anyway. So we do that every quarter. We also, the Centre for Ageing Better within the UK, that is also, I believe, one of the affiliates that Tiago mentioned earlier. They host weekly webinars in which they'll pick up on sort of initiatives and things that are going on, not just in the UK, but other parts of the network. So we do go to those webinars, and we'll, so others in the team here, Rosie goes along, and we'll learn from that as well and make connections there. And that's been such a good tool as well, because it's been we've made connections then with maybe some of the stakeholders as well that sort of referenced within these initiatives, and certain things we've been able to take forward as a result. That's kind of what we're doing at the moment. But I would say we are open to greater connection. Certainly, Julie, coming along to the international conference would be amazing. But yes, I mean, and conferences. So like we've been to the Centre for Ageing Better conference, so they pull together people in the UK and things like that. Yeah, that's kind of what we're doing in Cardiff. Thank you.
For the city of Cockburn, we've got many connections. It's a little bit harder for us to travel, especially internationally, but we actually connect well with the International Federation of the Ageing, Dr. Jane Barrett. And also I heard that Kathleen Brashear is on online too, which is wonderful. She is a fantastic leader in ageing, and when you connect with the person and you get to know the person, and you get to understand their stories and about their passion and about their stories and their way of connecting, and then you can follow their lead. I've been to lots of Australian conferences around Australia, listening to Ageing in Place, listening to the Ageing World. I was also very blessed with the state government and the World Health Organization to be chosen to study ageing in the 21st century. And from that, I got to connect with people in the world. One lady from Japan, another lady from England, who actually lives just down the road from me, really, and another who's from WA, and another preceptor, and another person, I think he was from England. And we've actually kept in contact with each other since doing that course, and we're learning so much from one another. Japan Aging Friendly World is so different from Australia, so we're learning from one another, and we share stories. We actually meet now, we talk more personally than we do about ageing, but we've learned a lot from one another, and been able to do that Ageing in the 21st Century course with the World Health Organization. I was very blessed to understand and connect with many stories, many understanding of what ageing in place means, what it means for the 21st century, and to be living well in our communities. So it's just really learning and understanding from one another and getting to a personal connection. I think that really does help as well.
Super. Thank you so much, Julie. I also see that I believe there's one more question in the Q&A. I think this is addressed to you, Julie, from Ciara Farrell. Can you please describe the critical factors that lead to the setting up of the friendship group or friendship groups? Like, was it a particular individual who invited members into the group, or if you could just describe how setting those groups up goes?
Thank you for that question. That's good. So the critical factors for us was keeping it very simple. just simple, just asking someone, how do you feel about connecting with people? Do you want to make new friends? A lot of people come in and we have a welcoming group. So the senior centre runs, when you join our senior centre, we have a afternoon or morning tea, and we invite people in and they learn about the centre, and we get to know them individually, and we say to them, do you want to make new friends? And then all of a sudden they've got a flyer in their hand that tells them about when the friendship group's on. We only invited senior centre members initially and said, do you want to connect in the friendship group? But it was all so simple. It was knowing our individual members and knowing, I think they, might be a bit lonely. I think they're finding it socially hard to connect with someone, or they would come to the front counter and talk to the staff for a good, hour or so. And we're like, yeah, you could, this friendship would really benefit you. But we did have 2 volunteers, as you saw in that previous photo, that led that group. And there was no staff in the room. So initially we started together with the volunteers as staff. And then eventually now it was probably about 4 meetings that we had. And then eventually I just pulled right out of it to keep it member-based, to keep it senior-based, to keep it fluid and the conversations connecting with one another. There's no formality when they meet. A group of people meet in one room and they sit next to someone and they just start a simple conversation. And then the relationships get deeper and deeper, like I have with connecting with the World Health Organization, other members of them with that course. My best advice is, if you start something, find someone that really loves people but also knows their boundaries about keeping themselves safe, and understanding that, if they're a volunteer, they do have boundaries that they need to keep, and confidentiality is one of them. So what's said in the room stays in the room. It's wonderful now that we've been able to start a second group. So those 2 volunteers that were starting it, they have now split and they're running another group. And last night I went to our multicultural reference group meeting, and I think I've found a gentleman there that wants to start one in the community. So again, that will be simple. It will be an advertisement maybe in the paper, maybe a poster somewhere, maybe a conversation with someone, but we'll start very simply in the community. And I'm excited about that one, because as well as the ones here, because it will allow non-members to start joining. Hopefully, one of the things I would definitely suggest is if you could get a university on board, because I think there's real essential data there that the simple approach that I've taken, it's not capturing. And I'd love it to have more, understand social impact on this group is having. So I would encourage you to get someone on board to help you articulate that social impact that's having.
Thank you so much, Julie. Wonderfully put. I see that we're running short on time. And so before getting into just closing remarks, I'd like to give our panelists one more opportunity to leave us with a brief closing thought. Your hope for the future, where you wish to see your city in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, something that you would like to say. Preferably on an optimistic note. So if I can I ask Nicola maybe to start us off?
I'm just thinking about the word freedom again. But yeah, we want a city where older people, like I said, can be part of shaping what Cardiff will actually look like in 5 years' time, in a very active way. We want a Cardiff where there's lots of housing that's sort of like, that meets the needs of older people, plenty of activity programs out there that people can engage with. Sort of, we want to stamp out loneliness. That's what we want to do, which is obviously what Julie wants to do too. So yeah, we just want older people that can live well and like I said, be empowered and happy and healthy as long as they can be. So thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to participate today. It's been fantastic to hear from the other panelists as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nicola. Asma?
For us, actually, I feel that what I wish or I want Sharjah to be the best and leading city in terms of age-friendly, regional, يعني national-wise, regional-wise, even international-wise. I feel we have to do a lot. We will work very hard, really, to make Sharjah the best place for elderly. And I feel we have to expand our activities. We have to involve more people. We have to target different categories beyond what we are doing. We need to connect more. We want to tell the people more about what we are doing, and we want to hear more about what the other is doing. I feel, yes, Sharjah will be the best place for elderly. And it will be a place that any elderly want to come and to live their end of life in the city, because we want it to be ready and welcoming, and to empower the elderly to live with a lot of respect, dignity, and quality of life. We have to provide not only the basic services, but they have to live with, a lot of quality of life. I think this is our aim and our vision for the future.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Asma. And Julie, last words?
For the city of Cockburn, you spoke about hope. I think being able to age is hopeful. To be able to age well, to have flexibility, adaptability, to be able to move around your own city and live well and do what you want to do in life and do what you want to do in your own community and stay connected, be happy, be able to form new relationships, new ideas, and have new ways of living for yourself. And to feel connected in your own community, to have buildings like Asma where it is age friendly, and Cardiff where, we're looking at sustainability and the global warming. Love to be able to, for the city of Cockburn, we create opportunities for engagement, for consultation, and mostly that you're going to be heard here, and that we are striving always to stay connected. We're going to stay connected by keeping connected with our community, with the state government and local government. And thank you so much for today.
Oh, looks like we got cut off there right at the most inopportune moment. So let's hope Julie can make it back online. That concludes our discussion. I just want to say a big thank you to our panelists, Julie, Asma, and Nicola, for sharing the incredible work being done in your respective cities. We truly appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedules to speak with us today. And I can say personally, I hope to be able to come visit each and every one of you in Cardiff, Sharjah, and Cockburn very soon. I would also like to thank John Beard for his wonderful introduction, and Tiago Herrick de Sa, as well as my colleague Lorenzo Grandi, the director of the City Diplomacy Lab, for their invaluable work in organizing this webinar. Lastly, thank you to everyone in attendance. It is our hope that throughout this webinar series, you have gained a greater insight into the work of change-making cities that are developing necessary social solutions to tackle the novel problems that we face today. And if you'd like to rewatch this discussion or any of the previous discussions in this series, they'll be visible on the Paris Center YouTube page at the link in the chat. And you can also learn more about the City Diplomacy Lab by going to the second link in the chat. And I see that Julie has just been able to rejoin us just in time. So Julie, we're just about to say goodbye. But thank you to Julie, Asma, and Nicola, and thank you again, and have a wonderful day or evening if that's the case for you. Goodbye.
Thank you
So much. Thank you.